Bienvenidos a esta nueva emisión de Interviú. Bienvenidos al recuento semanal de todo lo que sucede en cultura en nuestra provincia. Para comenzar, les contamos que tuvimos el lujo de conversar con la actriz y cantante Lemper, quien visitó la provincia en el Septiembre Musical.
This time we had the opportunity to be with a great singer, a great actress, a great dancer. We're talking about Lemper, who came in the last time in 2007. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. 2007. So that's
3 years.
3 years, my goodness, and time flies. It was like yesterday.
What do you think about the people who saw you the first time in the theater? They fell in love for you singing, for your voice. What do you get?
I find it unbelievable, and it's a wonderful privilege to be so far away from home, and to be, liked by the people. That is a very wonderful privilege I have, and I'm very happy that people here in Tucumán know the culture I represent is a very different culture, know the history of the songs, the songs of the Weimar Republic, the songs from the old times. It's a very historical journey. It's a look back into the past, but also at the same time, it's a look, into the world today. I always try to link the past with the contemporary vision of the world in my songs, and I'm very, very happy to be back here, and it's incredible, yeah. And I live in New York, and it's very nice to come fly down all the way south and to be on the same time zone and tell a story of a very different place.
Let's talk about your beginning, because you were singing jazz in the first time. You have a band, and the Panama Dry Band, and so until now, what you can say all the process that you had, how you were growing in music?
It's a very long journey with many, many chapters. And in the beginning there was dance, there was, more rock music, and I was a teenager. But then I started after school with theater. It was very important to discover and to learn and to feel how to tell stories with truth. And to become very open as a person also in the world, to see what's happening. I lived in a Germany, which was the Germany of the Cold War, where lots of things were wrong, and you lived in a very complicated political situation. All that was very important for me as a young artist, to form me and to make me feel, angry, frustrated, desperate, sad about things. And then the years passed, and I did lots of musicals and theater performances, and then I started recordings, and then suddenly I could identify my mission as an artist is to revive the music of the 20s, the music of the Weimar Republic, of Kurt Weill, the music that was shattered and denunciated by the Nazis in Germany. And suddenly this became my mission, and I was an ambassador to this music, and I carried this over for many years into the new millennium, this responsibility. But also always I like adventure. I like, this is my root repertoire, the German repertoire, but from there I like to sing la chanson française, the beautiful French world of chansons. I like to write my own music. I like contemporary music, Tom Waits and Costello. But I also lately really like to write my own music and invent my own projects.
In the different phases of your career, you work in Cats, for example, you work in Peter Pan. How was that?
Oh, I was very young, and I liked it because I was very young. I wouldn't like it today. But it was fun, it was very physical, and I was I had so much passion and also energy as a young person to bring this all. And especially the story of Peter Pan is the little boy who doesn't want to grow up. And I really felt this. I wanted to be a young rebel. That was my heart. So I liked it very much. But, I never like to be in a production with 8 shows a week. The same every day. I find it very difficult. I like to invent, to be always change interpretations, change arrangements. I'm always curious, and I always want to be truthful. So to do the same thing every day, I never liked. In musicals, that's what you have to do.
We're talking about your mission. I mean, you're an ambassador of German, and you had the chance last year to performance the song Ghosts of Berlin in the 20th anniversary of the wall. How was that experience? Because singing in Berlin in that anniversary was something great.
Well, the song I had written a long time ago. This is not a new song. It's a song I wrote about 5 years ago or 6 years ago. And this day, the 9th of November, was such an important day in 1989. The wall came down. It was an earthquake in our hearts. For every German, we could not believe that really it would be possible, that this wall, which was a piece of crazy terror by a political idea, which was put in between sisters and brothers, and lots of family was separated. And for almost 30 years, this wall was there. In our modern society, it seemed to be impossible, the Cold War, the conflict between communism and, capitalism. It was such an artificial, people made a prison. And finally, in Germany, it was an unbelievable day, and a day full of hope and joy and ideas for the future. So, then 20 years passed, and the unification actually was very difficult and very painful and very slow. People lost their identities in the East. The economy was totally bankrupt, as we know. The West had to pay for the East. And it was a very difficult and painful process, but it was a positive process at the end of the day. And after 20 years, it's still not finished, the process. It's still trying to heal. The wounds are trying to heal. And I think it'll take another 10 years. Probably, but it was wonderful to participate in the celebration of the fall of the wall.
What about between yesterday and tomorrow, your last album, your last record? What you can say about that? Because they have beautiful songs.
Well, as I said, I was inspired to write my own songs, and it was a project for my heart. It was not actually even a commercial project. It was something I wanted to do. I loved the songs. I played the piano, and I said I need a documentation of that. I want to not just for it to go away. I want to document this on an album and tell it to people. And people have to. My career is very long. It's 25 years, 30 years now, almost 30 years. And I do so many different things, and people have to follow me. Michael Nyman, Tom Waits, cabaret songs, musical, it's all over. So this one was a very surprise for my fans, But it was, for me, a very important project, and it was an adventure. And, it's a very personal album. It's about the world I live in, the people I know, my life, the chapters, growing older, responsibilities, choices you make, and the peace you find over the years.
This time, tonight, you're going to have a great repertoire, right? Because you're going to sing some tangos.
Yeah. Well, the show is called Last Tango in Berlin. That means, is a metaphoric title. Last Tango in Berlin is the last freedom before the Exodus, before the Nazis took over in the 30s. So I start with the tango of the Three-Penny Opera, of Mahagoni, the tango then of the exile, of emigration, Côte-Weil in Paris. And then I go to Argentina, of course. Many people emigrated from Germany to Argentina. And then I go back to New York and back to Berlin. the Berlin of today.
Well, Ute, we thank you very much for this interview, and I hope you have a great show tonight, and thanks for coming to Tucumán again.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited. Thank you for the nice interview.
On a vu souvent